Hi, this is Kathleen from My Happy Stamping Place, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a project, a cute little turkey, just in time for Thanksgiving here in the U.S. And the idea came from Kelly McConkey of Inky Hands, Warm Hearts. So she's, I think, the originator of this, and I'm going to share mine with you with a few tweaks. So let's get started. Okay, so here is what we're making, these cute little turkeys. And like I said, they're pretty easy. So the first thing you're gonna need are 2 pieces of designer series paper, and these will measure 6 inches long by 1.5 inches wide. Now, if you're using the 6x6 paper, this is really easy, and if you're using 12x12, you're just going to be cutting it down a little bit. So I'm using the, I think it's Totally Eclectic, the large designer series paper pack in the catalog for this. That's this pattern, but you can use whatever pattern you want, whatever you have on hand. So I've got one strip scored already. I'm going to show you how both pieces should be scored. So I've got my score tool here. You're going to put the long side along the edge, and you're going to score it at every 1/2 inch. Now I want to show you the tips on the score tool. When I'm using designer paper, I like to use the wider tip because there's less likelihood that you could tear through your paper as you're scoring. So that's just something that I found useful. So 1/2 inch here, then we go to 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, and 5.5. That just makes it easy to accordion fold the paper. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to fold back and forth like an accordion, like so. And you will be seeing both sides of the paper. Like if you turn around to the back, you'll see the other side. So you may want to keep that in mind. Sometimes we lament not being able to see both sides of the paper. So this is a project that you could be seeing both sides. So that's kind of a nice thing. So now I want to have this be one continuous accordion. So I'm going to glue these 2 together. I'm going to use my Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. This one's getting a little low, so I had to give it a good shake. It's a strong liquid glue, but it does take a minute to set, so whatever you're using it with, you want to give it a little minute to grab. And we're going to be adhering this to a clothespin. And this is just a normal size clothespin, wood clothespin. You can get these at most probably Target, the Dollar Tree, you know, any number of places would carry these. They're pretty common. So what I want to do is I'm going to take, see how there is, well, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to have it go this way. So I'm going to take my liquid glue and put it down just on half of the clothespin. I'm going to take the accordion fold and place one side down along here with just a little bit of overlap like that, and I'm going to hold it down for a minute just to make sure it's going to grab, and you can adjust it a little bit while it's setting, but you know, get it in place. All right, and then I'm going to, let's get it all folded down again. It wants to spring up. And we're going to glue it down on the other side here. So bring that fan over and let's glue that side down. So it kind of meets in the middle there. If you can see that. Whoops, let's get you back down there. It can be a little unwieldy, but you want to get it into place. And again, I'm going to hold it a little bit. My folds want to come unfolded today. Not today. I'm just holding it and letting it set a little bit. We will be doing something about this so it kind of stays into place for us. Okay, and then just to add a little bit more right here on the first folds, I'm going to glue it again like that, and then press down on this so that the fan fold will be a little bit more secure. We are going to be gluing something to the front of it, so that will help secure it as well. But let's just give it a minute as I let it grab. You could use other adhesive if you want to. The liquid glue, I think, just gives you some time to work with it. Okay, so we're going to leave that there for, set it aside, let that dry. And let's go on to another part of the project. So the star of the show is really this penguin punch. Now you may have this punch already if you purchased the Penguin Place bundle, and I believe it was in the Holiday 2022 Stampin' Up! Catalog. It came with a coordinating stamp set, or you could buy the stamp set and the punch separately. Currently, this punch is in the Stampin' Up! Clearance rack as of Saturday morning, November 18th, 2023 for $4.50. If you don't have this, grab this. What a deal that is. And you can check out other stuff while you're there, but I just highly recommend this punch. So besides, of course, the penguin, we're making a turkey, but you know, don't let it stop you there. I'm sure there are other projects and stuff you can make with it as well. Okay, so we're going to use just the main part of the penguin here, and I'm going to punch it out in pecan pie. And then I also want to do the feet, and I'm going to do those out of crushed curry. And you can see there's a foot there. You go punch out 1, 2. All right, and then for the rest of the face, I believe Kelly used some circle punches, and I didn't have them. So I looked around my craft room, and I encourage you to do the same to see what you could use. And I looked at this stamp set, and I decided I'm going to use the eyes from this stamp set. So I have that loaded up on a block here. They're just 2 dots that are evenly spaced. I'm going to go ahead and stamp those with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Now, whenever I'm using a photopolymer stamp, I like to put my cardstock on a foam pad just to give it a little cushion, and it will stamp better. Now, you don't have to stamp real hard on this. If you do stamp down too hard with this, you're going to pick up the middle part, and it puts a line between the eyes. So I found just gentle up and down solves that problem. And then I am going to go ahead and glue these little feet on. What I like to do when I'm doing a little pieces like this is put a little dot of glue where I want it, and then I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and the putty end, pick up my little foot, put it down, pick up my little foot, put it down. Just makes it really easy when you're doing punch art to do it that way. And if there's a little blob of glue coming out, it's all right. This dries clear. So now I needed a beak. So I went to the Sweet Songbird stamp set, coordinates with the Sweet Songbirds punch, and I'm going to use this little heart for the beak. And I didn't like the way it looked like that, so I'm just going to cut off the ends of the heart with my paper snips. So now I've got a little triangle. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to get rid of the foam pad. Now I needed a wattle for the turkey, so I went to my Dies Timeless Arrangements. You may have these in your stash as well. And I found this piece that I die cut out of real red. So I'm going to just do a little surgery on this and cut it down to where I think it needs to be, probably about that long. Just cut off a little bit. And that's going to become my wattle. So what I want to do is take a little dot of glue, do a little line of it where I think the wattle should go. Again, I can take my Take Your Pick tool putty end, pick that up, place it down where I want it. And then I'm going to do the beak right over that. So I'm going to do a little dot of glue over that. Take my tiny little beak and place it down. All right, so that's my turkey body right there. Let's get the rest of this finished up. So we want to do a little greeting in top to cover the end of that clothespin. So what I've done is I'm just looking at my paper and I'm looking at what color coordinates, and Very Vanilla is the color that does. So I've got a piece of Very Vanilla. Then I'm going to cut, bring my clothespin back in. I'm going to cut it at 3.5. Let's see, 3.5. And I want to show you here with my paper cutter. Put a little of this aside. I wanted to do, okay, so Kelly originally did, I think, a 3/4 inch wide, and it fell a little wide to me. So I'm going between the 1/2 inch mark and the 3/4 at like 5/16. So you just find that spot and cut a little strip like that. And then if you've got some kind of square punch or something that can make a notch for you on each end, you can do that. I don't currently have one, so I'm just going to go and snip in the middle and then come in from the edge and the other edge to make a little banner edge. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So just do, oh, I want to stick to my scissors. Do a little snip in the middle, and then go from one corner into the middle and the other corner into the middle. And that'll give you your banner edges. Okay, and then I want to stamp a little something on the front of that. And so again, I'm going to take my foam pad, bring that in. And I went through again my stamp sets to see what would be appropriate. And I found my earthen textures, and it has this greeting here, with gratitude. So that seemed very appropriate to me. So again, I'm going to ink that stamp up with Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And actually this is a rubber stamp, so it's already got the foam built in, so I don't need that little pad there. So I want to stamp that somewhere in the middle here. That's a little crooked. I'm going to give it one more shot on the other side, see if I can do a little better. Let's try again. That's better. Okay. So you always have two sides of the paper. You can always try again. Next, what I'm going to do is glue this to my clothespin. Actually, I'm not going to glue it. I'm going to take Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm going to take one of the regular size Stampin' Dimensionals and put it on this middle part where it's got all that metal going on. It's going to need a little bit more to cover that. And I'm going to take my mini Stampin' Dimensionals, and if you didn't have these, you could cut down part of your regular size ones because you want just a smaller piece. You don't want it to impede the clothespin at all. So I'm going to grab another little one for this end. Then just peel off the backing, making sure it's stuck down there first. And then I'll place that down. Okay, and then the only thing left to do is glue this guy on. Again, I'm using my multi-liquid glue. Let's put him down, place him over that fan folded designer paper, and just hold it a minute till he wants to grab. He's going to need a little extra help at the bottom here. Put a little extra there. And you could place like a clear block or something over it to help it set if you didn't want to sit here and hold it. Let me find something to lay on it. I'll just do this ink pad for now. I'm going to set this guy aside and again show you. Here are the finished ones. So you can see the other side of the designer paper. And you can clip this to a napkin, place it on your plate. You could also use this as place setters. So you could write in person's name if you want to, you know, do a seating chart. Personally, we're a lot more laid back with Thanksgiving that, you know, we don't assign seats, so we let people sit where they want to. So I just thought this with gratitude worked out really well for this. So that's all there is to the project. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for joining me today. Have a blessed day and a happy Thanksgiving. Bye.